these albums were fucking weird, dude. They were strange. I was looking forward to these like crazy. I was really excited to hit both of these because I love Shabazz Palaces, man. Like, I wasn't really into the C.A.Y.A too much because it was very kind of quiet and subtle and low-key, but I definitely thought it created a good, strong atmosphere, showed them venturing into new territory, and I thought it created for a pretty compelling experience, even if it wasn't quite as satisfying as a Black Up. But their first album, Black Up, I think is a fucking damn near masterpiece in experimental rap music. I really love that project. So, you know, because of that mainly, I'm a big fan of what these guys do, and I was really curious to see what they were going to do with these two new albums. They released two albums on the same day, on July 14th, and they both take place in some sort of weird universe called, like, this Quazarz universe. Both of these albums, they're called Quazarz, Born on a Gangster Star, and there's Quazarz versus the Jealous Machines. Those are the two albums. You know, Quazarz means this is like a character or something. It's like a character, like a weird, you know, alien character from like a weird universe. It's like a concept album. There's like a double disc concept album. It's really weird. I had heard a few interviews and shit. They were talking about this album. So okay, like so this is like a character from like another world who comes to like comes to some weird like other world or some shit, and it's gonna follow like a story and show like his sort of journey from this other world or some fucking shit. I don't know. It's gonna have like this whole. I heard it was like a concept album, like a story. I heard it was gonna be like a storyline, like a narrative, right? That's why I had read. And so I was kind of expecting something along the lines of Clipping's last album, you know, Splendor and Misery. That sort of had like a, that was like an astronaut like flying through space and shit. Like had like a plot, like a coherent storyline, right? And I was just so confused when I initially heard these two albums because I got nothing relating even remotely to a storyline. Like I said, I thought these two albums were gonna follow this character like in a coherent story, like a narrative and shit. Not once was I ever at any point listening to a fucking concept story album ever. Maybe I'm just going over my head completely. Like, it's so vague and weirdly presented. Like, I just don't I can't really latch onto any sort of like plot or narrative or characters or anything in the same way I could with the Clipping album. The Clipping album actually told like a coherent storyline with like characters and shit, and you could actually follow along with it in a musically satisfying way. Whereas Shabazz Palaces, they just seem to have just made like a really weird experimental rap double album, and I'm not really seeing much in the way of like a story. Out of the two albums, the one I personally like the most would be the Born on a Gangster Star one. Jealous Machines is not bad, but it's just really not engaging at all. Like, nothing really happens. It's a really kind of low-key, sparse, kind of weird musical journey. I'm not really into Jealous Machines too much. Like, nothing really happens. It doesn't really go anywhere. It just kind of puts me to sleep. You know, the instrumentals are really kind of like low-key and quiet. I thought the opening track was cool, but when I realized that every fucking song kind of sounded like that, I was like, okay, this shit is just kind of boring. Like, I thought the first track was just like a slow, sort of dramatic intro, but then every track was every bit as slow and every bit as overly dramatic and really sparse and spacious, and I was like, none of this is really grabbing me, man. However, Born on a Gangster Star, this, to me, here's how it kind of comes up to me. Born on a Gangster Star kind of seems like Black Up 2, whereas Jealous Machines is sort of like, let's say, Majesty 2. Like, that's kind of how it comes off. Like, the instrumentals on Born on a Gangster Star, they kind of remind me a little bit of the instrumentals on Black Up. And then Jealous Machines reminds me a little bit of the instrumentals on, let's say, Majesty. Because the same Majesty was really quiet, low-key, and sparse, and like creepy and ominous and atmospheric. And I think those adjectives describe Jealous Machines quite well too. Whereas Black Up was a little bit more attention-grabbing, a little bit more immediate, and that's kind of how I see Gangster Star. Some of my favorite tracks from these two albums, I really like the opening 3 songs from Born on a Gangster Star. I think the first 3 tracks are all fucking great, particularly the first track is awesome. Love that instrumental. And here's the thing, right? Lyrically, they're not really saying anything. Like I guess it all takes place in this weird Quazarz universe or some shit, but again, it's so hard to get a grasp on what the fuck is actually going on with this universe thing. Like, this ongoing Quazarz concept, it's barely mentioned at any point, and I don't really think they've really, you know, fully realized it in a satisfying way. I'm not really seeing much in the way of like a lyrical theme. They're not really saying anything, especially on Gangster Star in particular, they're not really saying anything. With Jealous Machines, they seem to be sort of talking about like current rappers or like hip-hop in the modern era, sort of critiquing like today's current like rap, you know, industry and stuff. With tracks like the self-made Follow Now, which sort of talks about like having like a being a millionaire like in followers, and sort of like pointing out just how kind of like tepid that really is, and not really quite as important as some rappers make it out to be, or something like that. Like he's sort of just like they're sort of critiquing like the rap game on Jealous Machines, but this is like nothing to do with the Quazarz universe. I'm really struggling to wrap my head around what they're saying. Like, to me, it just comes with they're not really saying anything like worth mentioning. It just seems kind of pointless. Although I do think on the song When Cats Claw, I do like how he sort of points out how much technology has sort of invaded our modern day living. That was kind of interesting, although they do kind of come off like a little bit like fucking old heads, you know? Just sort of talking about, oh, modern rap this, you know, modern technology this. They just really come off like some old heads just kind of ranting off about fucking millennials. And that can come off kind of corny, but they do have a few interesting points about these kind of things. A few points on the album, but I do like the song. I think it's called the song Effeminence. I thought was really awesome. That was on Jealous Machines. That track was so psychedelic and hazy and trippy. I really fucking love that song. That shit is so relaxing. I also love the song That's How City Life Goes. There's a beat switch on this track, and it is so fucking cool. I don't know what it is about. It's not really like that creative of a beat. It's not like a really like epic beat switch. It's kind of like subtle, but something about it just really does it for me, man. And I think Moonwhip Quazarz, right, or Moonwhip Quazarz, I'm not sure how the second last track on Born a Gangster Star. This track is kind of goofy, it's kind of silly, but it is so fucking catchy. I don't know why, but that like Quazarz born on a gangster star. It's really catchy. I don't know what it is. It's really catchy, but Fine Ass Hairdresser was cool. Eel Dreams, I hated that song. I did not like Eel Dreams at all. The chorus was horrible on that track. Shine a Light, love that really soulful instrumental, sounds lovely. 30 Clip Extension was good. Love in the Time of Kanye was good. But there was really not that many tracks on Jealous Machines that stuck out to me at all. That whole album really just kind of bored me, honestly. Like, if I were to score them, I would probably give Jealous Machines like a 5, and I would give Gangster Star like a 7. Personally, that's how I would score them. I enjoy Gangster Star quite a bit, but I mean, it was good. But yeah, Jealous Machines really bored me. Overall, the overall double album, I would say, is like a 6. Like in the middle, it's like a 6. But I don't think it really needed to be a double disc. It could have just been like one album, like one 13, 14 track long album or something. Just like a really solid, just really interesting experimental project. Like, it could have been cool, but I think it's a little bloated. This whole Quazarz universe thing is just really poorly realized. And overall, I'm a little bit disappointed. I was really looking forward to hearing this, because I do think they're one of the most creative and forward-thinking, well, I did think they were before listening to these two, one of the most forward-thinking acts in hip-hop, especially after listening to Black Up, you know? But yeah, this was just kind of disappointing for me, but overall, it's okay, I guess. Yeah, those are my thoughts on these two new Shabazz Palaces albums. Bye.